one fateful day, Jefferson had walked into Mr. Gropey's store with brother and bear to purchase some alcohol. There was an altercation that left Mr. Gropey and the other two boys dead on the spot. A dizzy Jefferson took some whiskey to clear his head and took money from the cash register. Two men saw him leaving, and so he was charged and convicted with robbery and first-degree murder. Your Honor, my client, Jefferson, wishes to appeal his sentencing to death by electrocution on the following grounds: lack of evidence, racial discrimination, and the client's character. Jefferson, a kind, thoughtful boy that has never had much in his life, has a character that would never commit this crime. When given pecans by children, he makes sure to ask Grant to tell the children thank you for the pecans. And this act shows how he's grateful for what other people do for him, which is a good trait. Furthermore, when he's asked by Grant to meet his godmother in the day room, not for his benefit, but instead his godmother's, he agrees. This caring act shows how Jefferson would go out of his way to help others, even if it is to no benefit to himself. This both shows that he's a kind, thoughtful person. If you ask whether or not he would participate in this crime because he's angry at the white man, let me remind you that he could have been angry his entire life. In prison, when he asked what he wanted, he had a slight smile on his face. It was not a bitter smile, not bitter at all. He then asked for nothing more than a whole gallon of vanilla ice cream because he never had enough ice cream, never more than a nickel cone. That is all he asked for before death. He was not angry, he was not upset, he just wanted something that he lacked for his entire life. This is backed by the retelling of what happened in Mr. Gropey's store. After the shooting, Jefferson became frightened and shocked. Not happy, he then drinks whiskey to clear his head and takes money from the cash register, even though he knew that it was taken wrong because he didn't have a solitary dime in his pocket. This shows how he takes the money out of necessity and lack of self-restraint, not out of greed. These events show how Jefferson has always lacked in his life and was kind nonetheless. Based on this, he would never willingly participate in this crime. Many African-American philosophers have said many things that pertain to this case. Frederick Douglass stated that we needed the immediate, unconditional, and universal enfranchisement of the black man because without this, his liberty is a mockery. Without this, you might as well retain this old name of slavery for his condition. In fact, he is the slave of society. What he said is this case here today. A black boy with no evidence against him except the testimony of two white witnesses that did not even see the crime take place, but only saw him exit as facing death. Should he die, we would have it confessed that he was truly a slave all along because his liberty was false. We can take away his liberty as we please. Liberty does not mean that you are, as Douglass put it, at the mercy of the mob. It means that you will rise or fall alone, not by the will of others. Should he die, we must live knowing that his only crime was being at the wrong place and the wrong time, and being the wrong race. If he was white, his account would have been taken more seriously, and there would be no question about what happened. We cannot say that he died for his own actions, he died because of his race. If we do not act now, we will look back and regret our actions. We will be faced with a similar question that W.E.B. Du Bois asked himself. How shall a man measure progress where the dark-faced Josie lies? Du Bois posed this question after seeing the progress that was made for the education of black children after the Civil War. The war had brought change that allowed for this to happen, but stole the future of a highly motivated Josie who had big dreams for herself. We will soon be asking a similar question to ourselves as we see our mistake and as we realize how we need more evidence in the future and not judge people solely based on their race. We will look back and ask whether or not Jefferson's life was worth us realizing the truth and changing for the better. Either way, our actions will be written down as change comes. As Ralph Ellison has said, we ourselves are our true names, not their epithets. Ellison tells us that what we do defines our names, and our names will be written down in history to tell the story of what happens here. They will not see us for what our names convey, rather what we do at this moment. Your Honor, looking at Jefferson and his case, many things become clear. Based on his character, it's extremely unlikely that he would willingly participate in this heinous crime. Even if you do believe that he might have participated in this crime, we still cannot put him to death yet. It is clear that the decision was not made properly. First, his own testimony was dismissed, and two other testimonies, mere conclusions from passerbys, were taken into account. The only reason that this happened is because of his race. If he was white like the other two witnesses, his testimony would have carried a lot more weight than the other two. Secondly, along similar lines, we lack evidence. We only have the two white witnesses that claim they saw Jefferson exit the building. They did not see the crime occur. All other information leads us to believe that he is innocent. Today is a momentous equation. Today you decide whether or not Jefferson lives to see justice or dies. Your name will be written down in history for what you do today. I hope it ends up on the right side of history.